Back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. You're right in the middle of the deep. Yes, indeed, we're right here. We're still talking about negotiation, and we're saying how can we haggle our way into getting what we want? How can we negotiate our way into getting what we want? Why is that? Sometimes when you negotiate, you leave there sometimes dissatisfied. You're like, I didn't really get a good deal, or I think I did, and then 2 days after you see something else and realize that, oh, I actually didn't get a good deal. And I've used very simple examples, like when you go to the market and you get this thing, and then you move on to the next store, and then you see the exact same thing and say, let me just ask the price, and realize that the price was way cheaper than what you negotiated, and you're like, am I such a bad negotiation? Negotiation, wow. I'm not such a bad negotiator, and we're asking people who negotiate, who are very good at negotiating. Are negotiators, are they born? Is it like inborn? Olawale said something about, oh, some people just have it in them, it's just in them, and some others they have to learn it. Is it something you just learn? Is it something you can just learn and learn it very well until you're so good, or is it something that is just inside of you? Definitely, I would love to hear your thoughts on the topic of the day. Please do also calling on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. As always, I have a special guest with me in the studio. She is the Chief Operating Officer at Pure Life Pharmacy. They call her Projectpreneur. I've been shouting that since she came here. She's a strategy consultant, a certified life coach, a project manager, a corporate management expert with about a decade experience in corporate sector, which spans, consumer goods, banking sector, and banking and gaming and real estate and non-profit. You can see this woman is all about business. And when you're all about business, you are all about negotiating. You are. In fact, when she walked in here, I looked at her and said, you look sharp. She looks like she was here to negotiate, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
if she negotiates here, I should get what she wants, looking like that. She's passionate about leadership and service and mentorship, and she impacts teenagers, and not just teenagers. In fact, people like you and I, adults like you and I, when it comes to living our best life financially, and of course in project management, and basically in life generally. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me in studio Busayo Adegoke, AJ, aka Projectpreneur.
Yay!
I know when you wear glasses already. This woman, you've given us that corporate, get your money.
I'm here for business.
You have won me over with this look, with these glasses. You won me over. What do you want? What do you want? Negotiate now. What do you want?
Are you sure you can afford me?
Good to have you in the
Oh my
studio.
God, it's a pleasure to be
Thank you
here.
so much for coming.
Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate for
welcome.
honoring this and for sharing your wealth of experience and knowledge.
Yeah, it's
with
always
us.
a pleasure.
Yeah, so I mean, we're very aware of what negotiation is and all that, but we'd love to hear from an expert. How does it span? Because I have said something like, oh, you can negotiate in your personal life, in your financial life, and all. But from your perspective, what is it? How deep does it run?
Okay, thank you very much, Deborah.
You're
It's a
welcome.
pleasure to be here, and I want to say that negotiation basically is a process of, let's say, strategic conversations that would usually lead to a mutually beneficial outcome.
Okay.
And there's something I always say in life: you do not get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. And when it comes to negotiation, it's not just about business. It has to do with your life, your relationships, your friendships, sponsorships, partnerships. Generally in life, wherever you turn, you find yourself in a position where you would have to negotiate your worth.
That is completely awesome the way you put it. So, what's the relationship between self worth? Like now, knowing what you deserve is like self worth, right?
Yeah,
But now,
absolutely.
knowing what to negotiate, what's the relationship between your self worth and because is it possible that you don't have that self worth but you negotiate so good that it looks like you do, or what's the relationship?
Oh, okay. Thank you. So, it's possible for you to read up on books on negotiation or do research and all of that, but there has to be a part of you that understands that you carry some innate value. And what I mean by that is if you do not exactly place some kind of self-worth on yourself, you'll end up taking it all in like a trash can. A trash can can't say, you throw this in, you put it sticks there, you throw that in. So in order not to move about and move around in life, taking everything all in, because in life people will throw you all sorts of offers, and your level of self-worth has to be intact in such a way that you know what to say no to, you know what to say yes to, and you know what to reach a compromise on.
I think the question or the problem now comes that, even if I know my worth and I can negotiate my worth, right? How can I put a price tag to it? Some of these things called worth. It's not labeled, It's not labeled. You can go in there and say, okay, my worth is 1 million. But these people are actually ready to give you 5 million. Then you walk in there mentioning 1 million. You can walk out happy, but you did not negotiate to the best of you.
Okay.
So how do you price tag it?
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to say this, right? Basically, I've realized that there are times that people, your self-worth is here. The budgets of the projects that you're trying to negotiate on is there. So that's why I always say that research is very important, and it's always key to ask questions. I remember I think it was sometimes in 2018, I was supposed to handle a project for someone. And when they reached out, I was really excited and I had a price in mind. But then I thought about it like, okay, look, I should ask them what their budget was. And then I did that. Do you know that if I had gone ahead to jump the gun without asking the necessary questions, I would have accepted about, let's say, 60% less.
Oh my God.
Than what the budget for the project was. But you should also bear in mind that there are some people who will make you feel that the budget is low.
Yes, they would lie about the budget.
And in that case, like I started off saying, it's important to do research. Like for example, you are looking for a job, there's a role you've applied for. I mean, it's pertinent that you ask questions. You probably have people in various fields. You probably have HR specialists, and the fact that you have access to internet, you can go there, you can do research as much as you can. Yes. So it gives you an idea of what the market value is. And that way you're able to, align yourself closely to that. Yes. And if they're offering you something way less than that, yes, you can always know that, okay, and no go agree.
For anybody. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. I'm still here in the studio with Busayo Adekoke, aka Projectpreneur, Chief OO of the Pure Life Pharmacy. If you have questions and thoughts, opinions, you just want to be a part of the show, please do also calling on 0705-993-6937 or 0705-993-7937. You agree, you don't agree, please call in. It's a judgment-free zone for unbiased conversation. Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Negotiating. Now, what if I don't want to negotiate? I feel like, is it so necessary? What if I maybe in a situation where you've done it like 2-3 times and you came out not dissatisfied, so to say, and then it feels like you just had to take it. Could it be that you are just so bad at it, or can I just employ somebody to focus on it? Is it a necessary life skill?
So, again, thank you. It's a necessary life skill in the sense that it may not be about business. In your case, it might be about relationships. In order to hold relationships, keep relationships that are of value to you as well, it's important to be able to negotiate. And one of the things I'm trying to say through that is negotiation helps you to foster valuable relationships, yes, that are healthy, that are strategic as well. And it also helps you to establish boundaries. It makes you know what to say no to. It also helps you to be assertive because, for instance, when it comes to relationships, and I'm talking about friendships
Yes.
now and what have you, we have people who give themselves all out
Huh.
in friendships and in relationships.
Yeah, without getting
So
anything.
without getting anything in return. So at that point where you're probably in a relationship that is parasitic, so to say, if you bear in mind your self-worth and the fact that no, this is not for me, this is beneath me, no, I shouldn't take this, you're able to demand and state your claim in terms of the value that is due to you. And I think I should also add that when it comes to negotiation, it's not exactly about winning. Like, you're not in need to win or to prove a point.
So what are you?
So it's for not just your own benefits. When you negotiate, you have to leave the room, leaving your, let's say, your partners, so to say, your prospective partners, leaving them with the impression that they have also had a good day. They have gained value because, for instance, if you're negotiating on a business
It's
deal,
like living yourself.
yeah,
and-
so you're negotiating on a business deal and you feel like you have made, you're making so much money. They must also feel like they have gained a valuable asset that's going to work with them on that project, drive that business
That is a
idea.
beautiful way
Yes,
to
so
look at
to
it.
say. So there are different ways to look at negotiation, basically.
Yes, I feel like when it comes to negotiating, we are usually like focused on, oh, I want to me, win, 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 and all, and we don't even hear from the other party. But the truth is that the other party is also looking out for their own win, win, win. So it's a question of if we are both, empathetic towards each other, right?
Yeah. So I'm glad that you talked about empathy because while you're negotiating, really, emotional intelligence is very key. And emotional intelligence helps you to take a walk in the person's shoes. So as you're asking them for something, I mean, I've seen situations where you're trying to do a deal with somebody, you're trying to give business to someone, and they're asking for the most unrealistic, price or figure, so to say. And at that point, it's clear that, sorry, you are not going to even push any further, So, well, like I said, it's, I mean, we can't exhaust it.
I know.
There are different angles to look at it, basically.
Yes, but our negotiators, from so far what I've heard from you, I feel like it's something that you can build because you said research, ask questions. But are there some people that are just born with it? Like, are they born or are they made?
Well, so
Are you born or are you made?
well, I
You're born made.
don't go there.
Made born.
Oh my god. So, oh well, I've been a tough nut, from a very early stage. So let me say I grew into it.
Okay.
I grew up having the mantra in mind that I want to be more than mediocre. And when you have that mindset in mind, it helps you to know that you're not interested in settling for less in life from people and otherwise.
And knowing your worth completely.
You got it.
I got it. If you
Yeah.
don't get it, forget about it. All right. So let's talk about the common mistakes that people make, when negotiating. Some people are fairly good. I personally, I said I am scared. If there's a term like fear of negotiation, or if there's a term like that, maybe negophobia. or something.
Yeah, for the purpose of this
created the word
negophobia. Yeah.
in case it's not in the dictionary, I just created a word. In case I have
Negophobia.
in case I have negophobia, like I want to negotiate and I just get so paranoid and scared because again I'm thinking, I want to win. Maybe I need to change that perspective. Like, I want to win. I don't want to feel dissatisfied. I don't want the person to lie to me. I might be honest. I don't want the person to lie to me and tell me, I need to. It comes again from a place of maybe trust or something, and all that. If I have negophobia, in quotes. How do I step out of that into my comfort zone so that I can actually take it?
Okay, so one, baby steps, right? You take it one at a time, right? Like you want to start small. You'll fail at it. Trust me, I've failed. There are there are deals I had said no to in the past. There are things I had said. Sorry, there are deals I had said yes to in the past. That trust me, you can't even bring them close to me now. You understand? So it's I mean, just like every other thing in life, you could try, you could fail, you get up, you do it again, right? And that's how you learn, that's how you get better at it. So, and also bear in mind that what's the worst that could happen? You get a no. What the offer doesn't exactly align with what you want. But at the same time, I like to add that don't leave money on the table.
What do you mean
don't leave money on the table. Like and you know for a fact that, okay, so for example, maybe you're trying to get a job, right? You're asking for 1.5 million as you take home, and you know that your last job you were paid 400,000 naira, right? And you've done everything possible, you've twisted their arm, and they have said, you know what, we can't do 1.5. Bear it in mind that you were getting 400, and they're saying, okay, we can actually do 850. Don't say my self-worth is bigger than that, and then you leave the money on the table. At that point, take it, because what that means is the next one you're going to get after that is going to be much more higher. So you've already positioned yourself to get something way better than what you were getting.
Where the person said no, 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 and then until that one comes, the one that says the price that you want, and then you take it.
Remember that if you lose money, you can get it back. But if you lose time, you can't get it back. Yeah.
That hits. That really hit. Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about the common mistakes that we make. I know that the one from this class now, I know it's lack of research. Research is there. Maybe empathy, or what are the common mistakes that we make that you have realized or that you made?
Okay, so I think basically we've discussed some of these mistakes.
Yes.
I mentioned that one of the mistakes you can make is to leave money on the table.
Okay,
so
if the money is changed, you can leave it.
If it's changed to you and it's not going to affect you, then you can leave it.
In a situation like you mean that, it's not that when you go back later, you're not thinking, I don't know, I was taking.
So I mean, as long as you know you are not going to have regrets, you can leave it on the table. Trust me. And so I was also going to say that sometimes when we negotiate, we let our ego get in the way, right? And there are times that when you look at the offerings of whatever relationship, of maybe the job opportunity and all that, there might be some value or benefits that are much more than money. So, for example, you're working in a place where you're not getting as paid as you would have loved, to get paid. But at the same time, maybe there's an opportunity for you to have a stake in that business. Remember that at some point, even if your stake in that business is maybe 10%, 10% of a billion is better than zero. Is better than zero. So as much as we can, we should try not to let our ego get in the way. That is really major. And beyond that, I mentioned before, do research so that you have knowledge. And then I must add this, one of the mistakes is a lot of people walk into a room to say, I want to negotiate for this. I mean, because of what I do, at Pure Life Pharmacy, for instance, as a chief operating officer, sometimes we get to undo. I mean, oftentimes we oversee recruitments, we see a lot of things. Someone is coming in and they're asking for a particular figure. They've come to you with a figure in mind as their take home, and then you're interviewing them, they are not communicating the value that is commensurate with what they're asking for. So make sure that the substance, that you have in you, that you carry, is commensurate with, the package that you're asking for, and make sure it also measures up with the panache and the package that you're displaying, in the environment where you're negotiating.
I totally get it. I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you. But the things I noticed about negotiating or negotiators or people who package or something I realized that it comes with a lot of deceit. I don't know if it's deceit is the word, because at the end of the day, if you are going to go some meetings and all that, I know you're going to wear your expensive jacket.
Have to look good.
And all that. So for some reason, it comes with some level of package, and that package can be wrapped up with a bow of lies, small lies, a sprinkle of deceit, and sometimes they can be unethical or immoral just because you want to get what you want, which is what we are talking about. So where do you
draw the line?
Yeah, where do you draw the line?
Where do you draw the line? So first off, if a building carcass is nothing more than a building carcass, no matter how much you paint it, you could slap a paint on it, you could put, you could try to fence it, you could put lights and all of that, but at the end of the day, it's not a wholesome building eventually. So no matter how much you try to package yourself, if you lack the substance, if you lack the value, it will be revealed at the table of negotiation. Yeah, it will be revealed. It will be revealed or after. And after is even worse, because you've really pushed people to the wall. You've sweet talked them. You've told them all the amazing things about how you generate XYZ revenue. And then, bro, come on, bud. It's time to do the job. It's time to do the business, but you can't do it, So at that point, you could get fired if it's a job. The contract could be terminated if it's a business contract and what have you. So just save yourself the stress. Do proper research. Make sure you have the value that you're trying to package and sell to people, so that at the end of the day, beyond what you think you've landed, you could also get to be referred for something of much more value than that.
Interesting. Well said. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, and we're on to the last segment of the show. A few minutes to wrap up the show. If you have thoughts and questions, I know you're all listening, because I told you this is giving masterclass vibes. I know you're all listening, but if you have thoughts and questions and opinions, you agree with something, you don't agree, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please do also calling on 0705-993-6937 or 0705-993-7937. Still here in the studio with Busayo Adekoke. I'm here with a COO. Don't play. Don't play. I bring COOs and CEOs to here, right here on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. So don't play, or you're going to learn. Just joking. So now let's get back to this question. I was going to ask you a question. Oh, we have a call already. So let me just take this call before I ask you the question. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi. Thanks for calling back.
In a situation of how got married or something like that you discuss that this marriage that we are going to, maybe we want to, I just need one girl, I just need 2 boys, something like that. Maybe you are now in a negotiation or something like that, and you just need 3 children or something like that.
Okay.
And now say that maybe the child that you need or something like that, maybe the husband accepts it. And you have already negotiated on it that it's an agreement or something like that.
Yes.
Why is not scared or something like that? I never have late children or something like that. And maybe you should be going up or something like that. How can we do that part of that thing or something like that?
All right. Okay, I don't know if negotiating falls in this, but does it?
So I didn't really get the question.
If I heard what he said correctly.
Okay.
He said in a situation of marriage, and you said negotiation spans into our personal lives. So before you get married, you guys already discussed. The lady has already said, the guy already said, I want just 3 kids. And we have agreed that we are going to have 3 children. You now enter into the marriage, you do not have boy child. Then the wife now say, no, since now boy child, we have to have another. But we agreed that we're going to have 3 children. So now he's saying in that situation where kids are what has been negotiated, and the male, they don't have male child, and she wants to have more. What happens in that situation? Because this is marriage, and stepping out and walking away and all that might not be an option.
I mean, considering that this is intimate,
Yes.
this is private, this is marriage. So in negotiation as well, there's a part of compromise, right? And in this case, bearing the economic realities in mind, and several other factors, there has to be a conversation. There has to be a conversation, because what happens if she insists she wants to keep having more children, and then we've had instances where people have had 3 kids and they wanted one more, and then they had triplets and they had more girls,
Well,
So in this case, a conversation is key, really. I mean,
renegotiate.
a renegotiation
Yeah.
is important. And of course, as the husband, I would also believe that the soft areas to touch, madam. If you have to cut a check at that point to say, baby, please, I'm begging you. You know what the economy says, yeah. So
Yes,
that's
interesting. I wanted to even get your thoughts, just a mild one. I want to get your thoughts on, products that, sometimes some people offer services and products and all that, and then they add negotiable, at the end of it. As a professional, do you recommend that, or is it something that's, I don't know. Because sometimes when I see that negotiable, it feels like you're not sure what you want yet, or you are willing to bend your rules or bend your this thing at some point.
Okay. For me, I'll say different strokes, different folks. There are people who probably have set the prices of their products, maybe based off on bandwagon effects, or the fact that everybody's selling for. I mean, bandwagon. It's still bandwagon
Yes.
effect, really. They've set certain prices on their products and services, but in reality, they know that their margin should be, their margin. They have a specific margin in
okay.
mind. So maybe they don't want to appear like they are too cheap, and at the same time they don't want to appear too rigid. And I should state for a fact that in negotiation, like, it's important to bear in mind that you have to be somewhat flexible. So for these people, I'll say they fall into the category of people who don't want to leave money on the table.
Yes.
So they probably don't want people to look
Like
at their
you.
prices and be like, oh my god, I'm going to the next guy.
Yes.
So yeah,
So they dial it down with the
yeah,
negotiable.
so I mean, they just tone it down so that they are able to welcome all sorts of audience.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I missed a call just now, so please do also calling back. I'd love to hear your thoughts on 0705-993-6937 or 0705-993-7937. I have about 3 to 4 minutes to end the show, so if you need to calling now, please do also calling now before we wrap up the show. Finally, what do we stand to lose if we don't negotiate, or when we do not negotiate? How bad can it be?
Sometimes when I look at life, it appears to be a prey and predator world, where you're either attacked, or you attack people, and
Eat or be eaten.
Eat or be eaten. And in that case, you can't say yes to everything. That's not how life works. You can't just say, oh, so madam, we're going to pay you 5,000 for that hair. Yes, ma. So you can't be a yes person all the time. You can't, because that's where setting clear boundaries come in, and like I said, when you know that you cannot and you do not want to say yes to everything, it helps you to establish clear boundaries that at the end of the day, you are not breeding too much of familiarity, so to say, because that even breeds contempt. And then you know what we call it in Nigeria, the see finish syndrome. Oh, go meet Deborah now. Even if you call her now and you tell her to appear in 5 minutes for that thing, she will say yes. Now she has time on her hands. You don't want to be seen as the kind of person who is available to say yes to anything and everything. Yeah.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I said finally, but I needed to add this one. When you're negotiating with someone who is older or respectable or powerful, the power dynamic and all that, so, what's the one thing to put in mind in order to negotiate well?
So first thing, don't be intimidated.
How can I not be intimidated? I walk into Dangote's
office
to negotiate.
So, okay. Okay. So now let me tell you this: when the person is of a higher pedigree than you, the person has vast experience more than you. You need to bear it in mind that they demand they demand the most of you in terms of value exchange. So you have to make sure that, because I've seen instances where you know that this project will cost you, let's say 20 million naira, and then you walk in because the person is really, is a big name, is a household name, and then the person says, oh, well, sorry, we can only do 5 million. Say, okay, all right, sir. And then you now go back and you're asking yourself, you can't even, it's not even enough to cover the costs. So
what if you do it to build relationship?
To build relationship, and then you take loans.
Hi.
And you run into debt. So for as long as whatever they are offering you is not going to cover as much as what you need, basically. Except your Father Christmas show, you're selling ice cream.
Interesting. I think we did a lot of that in this part of the world. Let me just build relationship now, and then when the people finish using you, they'll dump you, and then you go and look
build relationship. Like you provide, maybe you sell products, and you feel like you want to build relationship with artists, and then you give them all your clothes and they model it, and they don't pay anything, and then when they have money to buy, they are not actually buying from you, but they're buying from other people.
Else.
Come on now.
That's painful. That's painful. Yeah. Thank you so much, Projectpreneur.
You're welcome.
Osaya Adigoke, for joining me today.
You're welcome.
For negotiators, Mondays are one of the the busiest times for them. But she made out time to be here. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're
welcome.
How
can people find you? Be a part of your community on social media.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram as the Projectpreneur. So at the Projectpreneur, THE Project, then NEUR. Okay. Then on LinkedIn, there as Oluwabusayo.
Okay.
Togun Hadigoke. Yeah. So
perfect. Thank you so much.
You can connect with me.
Sure.
You're
all
welcome.
My listeners and viewers, thank you for being a part of the show. This has been Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, and I hope we've equipped you for the week to go out there and negotiate. Don't be shy, don't be embarrassed. Go and get what you want. If Dangote calls you today, enter into the office and negotiate your deals. Don't be afraid. Carry no grief for anybody. Carry and make gallows there. It's been an amazing time with you on the show. Please join me again on Wednesday at 5 p.m. at exactly 5 p.m. on radio and of course on YouTube at Silverbed N24 to be a part of the Deep Water Show. I'll be live again with another exciting episode on Wednesday and definitely on Friday. Until I come your way again, bye-bye.